New.
I feel like I was the last generation of like kids who actually went outside en masse to like have fun. After my generation, all these handhelds like games, online, internet, like, especially the iPad. The iPad is what really killed it for everybody. And for
Really?
all the kids.
I did not know this. And I don't. I thought it was maybe like video games. I didn't know
It's
iPads was the thing.
so the thing was the iPad was like video games like it slowly changed the meta for sure, but the iPad is what changed it forever because like the iPad is so mobile, so easy to use, and like so like the entire internet is at your almost the entire internet is at your fingertips. the, that's the real difference because like yeah, if you have a game console, you can like the guys will play it, the girls maybe play it. They might they'll have their own iPad. Everyone's using the iPad. Your grandpa's using the iPad, your mom's using the iPad, the grandson's using the iPad, the kid's using everyone's using the iPad. And the kid who when he's on it, he like they're giving it to him as like a like yo, just leave me alone.
Yeah, I mean, you can get a kid to interact with an iPad from the age of 2, and as in they might not be operating it, but now they're watching a video on it. They're watching the show on it, and I think they have a whole YouTube YouTube like section,
Kids, yeah, YouTube
for
Kids.
kids. Netflix Kids exists. Like the kids are getting acclimated to your screens now. Think about it, you're right, through the iPad first, and then I think the video game. Honestly, the biggest thing keeping the video games, in my opinion, from taking over the world or taking over people's lives is the fact that the video games suck.
Yeah,
Which
new games have been pretty bad.
well, I mean, Saudi just bought
EA.
EA, right? And I'm hoping. Look, I understand. I'm not for Saudi normalization in any way, but if they can make FIFA and Madden just up to like 2020's level, like it might be worth it because
Bro,
that's
honestly,
been the biggest
like,
disappointment.
I'm a huge.
I thought the future would entail better video games, at least.
I'm a huge Saudi hater, but if there's anything that they should be buying, it's bullshit like this, bro. Like these companies are so shitty that there's no way the Saudis can make it worse. Like there's no way.
Yeah, there's no way. I mean, I can't imagine like if you played the latest Madden, and I mean, I don't know, like I don't know if Madden's still a thing like that. Like I played the free version that they gave you on PlayStation Network to see what's up. This is my ritual. I've been doing it for like 20 years now. Man, it's so bad. I know Madden 2006, I think, we had McNabb on it. That was a better game. And it's 20 years down the road. I thought, okay, the future might suck. It might be a dystopia, but at the very least, we might have better graphics or better physics in the game.
The graphics are better. The physics are awful.
No, the Madden graphics are not better than they were in Madden 6.
Come on.
No, I'm being
06 graphics compared to 2026.
They added weather. Like if you run in the snow and the footprints show up this year in 2025. They had that in Madden 6.
Yeah, okay. I'm talking about like the fidelity of the graphics.
Bro, I'm telling you, like everything from how the game looks, how the players look.
Now your interaction with the game is a different story, but that's like yeah, Madden is not like a simulator. It's literally just what's the word? It's
some arcade like thing.
It's very arcade, but it's just it's like a bunch of animations over and over again. Like you press a button and animation happens, and then you like run. And it's like, bro, what the like
they've really gone all in early with the betting model. The gambling, online transaction gambling with Madden Ultimate Team.
Oh, but they learned that from FIFA. That shit was...
So who came up with it first?
I'm not sure who came up with it first, because like...
I really hope it's Madden, because at least you could be like, hey, our game sucks because we're focused on people gambling. But if you're not even doing that right, then...
Yeah, I'm not sure who started it. But, I mean, to be honest, I never got into that because, like, the whole microtransaction thing started out when I was a kid. So, like, there was no way I was going to ask my parents to put money into EA, like, microtransactions. Fuck no. Hell no. So, like, that mindset as a kid has kind of stayed with me as an adult. Mm-hmm. So, like, I don't... Not only do I do understand the microtransaction, I don't have the urge to do it because it's like
you're less susceptible to it.
I'm not susceptible at all because there's no reason for me to get it.
And I'm assuming the same. I don't want to assume too much, but I think the same might exist when it comes to, say, like, a Call of Duty. Like, if you run in the if you run in the snow and the footprints show up this year in 2025. They had that in Madden 6. You know, they something like DraftKings, like where, for example, or FanDuel, which these gambling companies, they've made sure like they've legalized gambling on your phones now.
Yeah,
And
what the gambling industry has done to the U.S. in the past 5 years is actually insane. They went from like even like talking about sports betting was like a taboo to like now it's like, hey man, you can parlay 10 guys together and turn your $1 into a million.
and
It's like,
everyone's doing it.
everyone's doing
I go on
it.
I watch Bill Simmons. He's talking, and I love Bill Simmons. This guy is talking about gambling, like, oh, the over on this, the under on that, and like, and then and thing is, I notice it when people are talking about, oh, this guy, this team at the last minute lost by 7 instead of 3, and I mean, I can't lie. Once you get into like thinking about it that way, you can see how these games are rigged, and that's a separate conversation. But just the fact that it's so brazen now, where you open the morning, like, what the first take, they're talking about gambling. Everyone's sponsored by gambling. This Luka Doncic situation that happened, it was big news. The underlying thing that kind of got lost, or I mean, I'm honestly, it might be by accident, but I have a feeling it's not. Miriam Edelson is I guess, the person in the backdrop who bought the Mavericks from Mark Cuban. Or the majority ownership of the Mavericks from Mark Cuban.
Larry Ellison.
Miriam Edelson. I
Oh.
believe she's Sheldon Edelson's widow, who bought the Mavericks from Mark Cuban, I think, 2 years ago? And I think they've been trying to get gambling legalized somehow in that area, if not the state. They've been pushing, and I think with any purchase of basketball teams, I think the Lakers were an exception to this. It comes with the real estate, the arena deal, the different types of sponsorships, and the assets. The assets meaning the players. And Luka being traded this way, I mean, not to get conspiratorial, it shows the private equity model of coming in, buying a functioning, maybe not the most efficient business venture, and then stripping it of its parts, selling it off, and now you have the real estate, you have the bits and pieces that you've deindustrialized completely.
I've actually never thought about it that way. That's actually makes so much more sense now that you're putting it that, because that kind of explains why United has been the way it has been. Because United, they got bought out in like the early 2000s, and again the Glazers, the worst name of all time, to be honest.
The worst
name of all time. The Glazers have been literally, they treat it like a bank account for themselves, and it really shows. The club has fallen apart ever since Sir Alex Ferguson has left. They use it like a bank account. They don't put any money into the team whatsoever, and they have like zero. There's zero accountability, and there's zero like footballing know-how in the actual running of the team. It's just like, we bought this team, and now let's just extract as much as we can from this team. And it's genuinely one of the saddest things I've ever seen.
It's a loss leader for you when you make a loss for the team over the course of the year. Well, it helps your overall tax, your tax status, or whatever the word is. It helps your overall tax situation considerably. You can show the loss with, I think Steve Ballmer did this with the Clippers. He's doing this with the Clippers, amongst other things.
Wait, is he still the owner?
He's still the owner.
After all the stuff that he's done in the past 2-3 years?
Well, I think the NBA, not to belabor this, the NBA put a team in charge that's going to take, I think they said, a few months at least to get this investigation done. So they're hoping this goes quiet. Hey, we'll tell you guys in 6 months what happens. And in 6 months, who cares? The NBA, the playoffs will be going on. No one cares. The Clippers, I mean, this is a good.
Really shows you how much like they actually care, bro.
Yeah, it's a good window into what sports is gonna be looking like. The entrance of Saudi money so brazenly along with private equity. Private equity, I think, bought the Celtics this year, and also the Lakers this year. So the biggest franchises have
They
been
bought the Lakers?
for $10 billion.
Really?
Compare that to the Celtics,
Wait,
which
who
was
owned
six
the
point
Lakers
two.
before?
Genie Bus.
Why the would they sell?
$10 billion. They purchased that's probably more than her like net worth by manyfold.
Yeah, but it's the most recognizable sports franchise aside from the New York Yankees in the entirety of like the Western Hemisphere.
I mean, they've owned the team
Like,
since the
what's-
'70s, right?
Yeah, but
And
what's worth more, that or $10 billion? You can spend $10 billion. You can't create this most recognized, second most recognizable like sports franchise in the Western Hemisphere. That's something you can't create from the base down.
They're in an awkward situation where they have a player who's worth more than the owner.
I mean, again, players come and go. This team stays forever. Especially in American sports.
If you like think about it this way right now, if you're forecasting that you're gonna be paying Luka $100 million a year at some point in the next 10 years.
Are you saying that like for them it wasn't financially possible to run the team? As in like it didn't make any financial sense.
It made too much financial sense not to
sell.
sell for $10 billion. I think it didn't. I think this specific deal did not come with the real estate as well. Compare this to the Celtics.
They own the stadium.
The people who bought the team did not.
So what do they own? They own
just the team.
And what does that include? Just the roster and like the facility?
The brand.
Do they own the training facility?
I assume so. I mean, compare this to.
Then it's like, bro, okay. Then she could be like, yeah, you can no longer use the facilities, and now you're gonna have to pay up. Like, as in, like, that's literally what she could do. She could be like, now you have to rent the facilities out.
Yeah, I honestly like judging by how they've operated the business since Dr. Bus died. I forget his first name right now. The guy who owned her dad who bought the team originally. They've used this team as the way you described the Glazers with United. They've used it as a cash cow. They've mismanaged it. And I think selling this number sounds very small when you think, oh, Lakers the brand. Compare this to the Celtics. Celtics sold for $6.2 billion this year.
And I mean, I don't know what that means as like.
The Celtics are the second biggest team in the NBA, the second biggest name, the team with the most championships.
That is true, but
selling for 6.2, that was the record deal.
I understand what you're saying, but like from a person out like who does not really care about basketball like that, the difference between the Lakers and the Celtics is night and day in terms of brand wise. Like everybody knows who the Lakers. Like you can ask a person in Pakistan, they'll probably know who the Lakers are. They're not gonna be like the Celtics. Who's that? You're talking about the guys in Scotland. Yeah. Those are the Celtics, bro.
No, that's true. And honestly, like you're gonna see this. I think you're already seeing this with the EPL, where a lot of La Liga teams are being bought by owners of the EPL, actually, the English Premier League.
The thing about La Liga is they actually have a lot of teams that are like La Liga is actually pretty good about their ownership staying inside of the US, or not the US. I'm sorry, inside of Spain. The EPL, the what do you call it? The Premier League is overrun with people outside of the UK. Like half of the EPL is literally owned by the U.S. ownership.
Well, I remember when City bought they bought 3 or 4 players simultaneously in 2009, and that was the first year that they had.
You're talking about the Robinho. They bought who else did they buy? They bought like
Santa Cruz. Robinho, Santa Cruz.
They bought like a lot. Dude, who did
they have Aguero at that time?
No, I don't think they bought Aguero. Came later, no.
Did
they buy David Silva?
No.
Or David Silva came later too.
I'm forgetting, but that's the first injection I remember of.
As well.
They bought that. They spent a lot of money that year, and that was the first year I remember where it was big news that City was going to is now a viable competitor in the EPL for the top seeds on the top ranks on the table. That was also the year where they were injected with, I think, Qatari money, or it's not Emirati. Those are, I think,
So
Emiratis that own the.
I'm pretty sure it's the Qataris that own PSG, the Emiratis that own what do you call it, City, and it's the Saudis that own what do you call it, Newcastle,
Mm.
because it's Ittihad on the City jerseys. Uh, what's I mean the PSGs. I mean I know that's just I know those are the Qataris anyways. Uh,
This in like you're gonna see this
oh yeah, they had
competition.
They had the Qatar Airways too at one
Yeah,
point.
you're gonna see this competition now in full force with the asset values exploding throughout every league, every sports league. The Saudis and private equity coming for sports leagues in full force. Saudi's already done this with PGA. Saudi has done this with wrestling now. I think WrestleMania 2026 is being hosted in Riyadh. I think WrestleMania Royal Rumble 2026 is being hosted in Riyadh. I would be. They bought Ronaldo for their what is, Al Nasser.
Al Nasser. Al Nasser.
I'm pretty sure they'll be looking to buy LeBron at the end of this year when
LeBron.
yeah
For what?
for their basketball league.
They have a basketball league?
Saudi has a basketball league. They have 10 men's teams. I'm not sure how
There's no
prominent
way
it is.
LeBron's going to Saudi, bro.
I mean, if I give you $1 billion a year, he's probably worth $1 billion right now. That's double your net worth.
Oh wait, you're saying you're? Oh, okay. I mean, yeah, maybe.
If I give you twice the money, also LeBron's in the situation now where no one wants to re-sign him for the money that he's worth. He's probably worth way more than he's getting paid anyways.
That is true. That is true.
If you're like, wait, I've done like 20 years in this league, 25 years, and no one's gonna sign me, and I'm a top 10 player in the league right now because you think I'm overpaid. Well, how about I take $1 billion from Saudi and screw your whole league up? I mean,
Well, I
that's
mean-
double the
I
money
mean, I
I've
wouldn't
made
thi-
in the past
I
quarter
wouldn't think
century.
it would ruin the league though. You just lost a legend. That's just a legend dropping out of the game at that point. It's practically like a retirement.
It's when the dam breaks. I think that's what Saudi is hoping with Ronaldo.
I think okay, but the thing is with basketball, it's so much more difficult because the pool of talent is so much smaller than it is for soccer. Soccer, the pool of talent is like practically like 6 billion people.
I mean, they just did it with wrestling and PGA.
Yeah, but again,
Or, I mean, we just talked about they did it with EA. They're coming for sports leagues full throttle. They're coming for the video games. They're coming for the players. They're coming for the arena deals. They want to be the center. They want to be. They see what Dubai has
but
become
I
for
feel
the
like
world.
Saudi's reason for entering sports is kind of different than sports equities reasons though. I mean private equity. Private equity is trying to make money. Saudi is sports washing. Those are two very very different things.
What is sports washing?
So
What does that term mean?
So sports washing, essentially, what it is that and usually an entity will come in and buy up a team, and they'll use that team as a medium to kind of like whitewash their PR, like basically, like you said, Saudi had bought Newcastle. Qatar has bought PSG, and the UAE has bought Man City. So what all these
And
three
Chelsea used to be owned
by Roman Abramovich. So Roman Abramovich was he's kind of the original sports washer, but also he did it for multiple reasons. But sports washing is definitely one of them. So he had bought it, one, because he's a Russian oligarch, and two, he wanted to keep himself like safe and a public figure, because obviously Putin is known to get rid of his political enemies, especially oligarchs, if they're not aligned with him. So he wanted to be a public figure for that reason, as the owner of Chelsea. Two, sports washing is the second goal, which is like, it's like positive PR for him. People are like, oh, he's the manager, he's the owner of Chelsea, that's so cool. He's winning Champions Leagues, he's winning PL titles, and be like, oh, he's such a great guy. Wow, Roman Abramovich. But like behind the door, you don't know what the fuck is going on, who he's fucking over, what he's doing to the, essentially that's what, Saudi, the UAE, and Qatar are doing. Like, the entire FIFA
Yeah.
World Cup was a sports washing event for them because everyone's like, oh, FIFA World Cup 2022, that was an amazing World Cup, wow, it was awesome, everyone loves it, but like behind the scenes, who was building those stadiums, how were they being built, and what were the human rights violations behind all of that stuff.
How did Qatar win the bid?
How did Qatar win the bid? Exactly.
How did Russia get the bid before this? For who? What did they host?
They hosted the Olympics and the World Cup.
Yeah, and again, these things, the same people. Putin was still there at that time, right? It's funny how quickly, like depending on where we are on the political balance, on the political scale. I know the Chelsea guy was forced to sell that team, right? Or they
exactly. They basically stripped him of the team, and they're like, hey, if you don't sell at this point, we're just gonna strip you of the team, which is crazy when you live in a free, air quotes, free capital. Free market capitalist society. But you have the ability to strip away ownership of something from someone.
And especially when you're the UK, where every laundered dollar or pound is being every black parcel of black money is being laundered through the UK in overpriced apartments.
I mean, they had no issue. They had no issue with him for years up until when. Until this newest, like the Russia-Ukraine crisis. Not crisis. It's really it's a war at its closest. But yeah, after this war came out, that's when they were like, "Hey, you can't own this anymore." Everything before then was chill. Nothing, no issues. 2014, with that Crimea incident, nothing, quiet, silent. Like there's been so many incidents, no one cared about anything up until this most recent invasion. But when it comes to Israel, it's totally fine if they're playing in the World Cup, they're playing in the Champions League, they're genociding an entire nation. But no, it's cool when it's them, bro. It's totally fine. They can go, their fans can go to Amsterdam, cause a riot, and it's Amsterdam's fault. But that's neither here nor there. But
and they participate in all European sporting events. I thought you're in the Middle East.
Yeah, you're in the Middle East, bro.
I mean, that's neither here nor there. I mean, we know, how the Zionist normalization has been going on. That's a project that's been going on for so long.
To be very fair, Europe isn't even really a continent, but that's
now we're just gonna totally go postmodernist, just break everything down. I think the interesting note about Saudi is. This is like you were saying, this is sports washing, but this is not only relegated to hey, we're gonna whitewash what we've been doing. This is a distancing. We're distancing ourselves from what we were before. MBS, I think it's been about a good decade or so where he's been around now as one of the power brokers the power broker in the peninsula, and you're seeing this distancing away from Salafi Islam, this distancing away towards a more Dubai-like model where
secular.
You could say a bit more for them, relatively a bit more secular. Something driven by becoming the cultural hub of the Arab world. Something where it's a post-Iran outlook. It's a MBS, and this is not to wax poetic or it's not good or bad.
It's just
it's not. He's not good or bad. I'm talking about just how the disposition. Yeah, the disposition has changed from where in 2009, 2005, 2019. This is not your granddad Saudi Arabia. This is a Saudi that is very much trying to compete with the UAE in terms of, hey, we want to be the tourist hub. Come here. We're building this line. We're going to be state of the art.
Exactly what I was thinking.
Where all the AI guys, Sam Altman comes here. Elon Musk comes here. We're going to have people. We're going to be the Imperium. We're going to be one of the Imperiums. Maybe a fancier, much more autonomous Germany. And I think that's where this deal with Pakistan.
Germany at which phase?
Before the Biden put them in their place with the Nord Stream attack, I think Germany really felt like, hey, we've driven Britain out of the EU, or I mean, Britain's driven itself out of the EU, and France the way it is, and with its power in West Africa really disappearing quickly. I mean, you can see it today. I think the calculation in 2015, 2016 from Germany was, hey, we have a monopoly on the labor force in the continent right now. There's no one producing anything up to the standards that we are, up to the scale we are. We are providing the content with jobs. We are the main.
You're talking about Saudi.
Germany in 10 years ago, that would be the calculation. Hey, we are really primed for, I think to be like, dramatic European domination.
I mean, to be honest, think about if you're thinking about like economic hubs of Europe, Germany is where you really aside from London's financial center, the stranglehold it has on the financial center district or the financial services. Germany is what you think of: the industries, the engineering, the production,
the output, the work ethic, and going back to something we talked about, the work ethic is they have a civic culture that is not based around work, but that values work appropriately, and it rewards work the perception is amongst Germans, hey, the work will be rewarded with something, as opposed to when you go to the UK where you can have so much of the economy has been subsumed by financial services since World War II. What is the value proposition for a college graduate? 30, 40K, 40,000 quid a year per annum.
You should explain what a quid is to people who are doing.
Let's say you're making £40,000 a year, £50,000 a year before tax. What does that really amount to? What is your standard of living? What does that buy? That is that's a value proposition that does not fall in the favor of the people since World War II who have been coming out of the university systems, who have been led to believe that there is going to be some kind of reward for going through the gauntlet of education. That exists still in Germany, and maybe that is still true. That is not the case in the UK. No one buys it. I don't think the people selling the model buy that this is a way out or a way for social mobility. With that said, Germany now, 10 years onwards, you're seeing, hey, we thought NATO would be a military branch, a way for us to stay militarily. I trip over my words, but thank you. Viable against something like Russia, something where our supply lines, our natural gas supply lines, an issue that has encumbered their military capabilities since the inception of the German state in the 1870s. That has, with the Nord Stream pipeline bombing in 2022, whichever year that was, I think that's the autonomy of Germany has become completely a fantastical notion. They are a satellite state of the U.S., and that has been clarified. If there were any misconceptions about that, Biden came in, made sure, hey, little bro,
I mean,
stay in your place.
You can also tell from the way the U.S. had been treating Germany for a while, because wasn't it Angela Merkel that found she was being literally spied on for years by the CIA.
Yeah, I mean, again, I don't know how these people get into power.
That's definitely Big Brother activity, bro. That's bro, if you as in Germany is a big boy, but if the U.S. is spying on your prime minister come on, dog. You're definitely little bro. You're definitely little bro.
Yeah. And I mean, I think Saudi feels like they've reached on the scale of power, the critical mass necessary not to defy U.S. hegemony, and I don't think that's part of their plan at all. More so to impose regional hegemony, and that at first it was using only hard power and the export of Salafi Islam. With MBS, the disposition has changed to now we're not, the regional hegemony encompasses a lot more soft power, a lot more marketing, a lot more intelligence services and covert operations around the region. You see this with the end of the Yemen war. I think that went on for almost a decade. The Yemen bombing. I don't want to call it a war. The Yemen genocide. I mean, I don't know how else to describe it. You're seeing this with their constant back and forth with the UAE, with their maneuverings against Turkey and Qatar because of their brotherhood ties, and their own distancing away from hardcore Salafi Islam. And you can see this in their mouthpieces, not to use dramatic language, and I don't think the people who I'm referencing consider themselves mouthpieces of the Saudi state at all. But the main middlemen of that Saudi export of Salafi Islam in the West, you will see a change in their dispositions in the past 2, 3, 4 years. You will see that they are not as bought into the Salafi part of it, the Takfir part of it anymore. They're more in line with a much softer image of Wahhabi Islam, as soft as Ibn Taymiyyah gets, I guess. But that really, I think this deal with Pakistan right now, that Saudi has made, this is their way to hedge that bet, that the one that Germany lost with NATO. Saudi is hoping to make the same bet with Pakistan, that we are going to be in a defensive situation with a defensive pact, a mutually beneficial pact with a nuclear armed state that we have economic hegemony over. Now, the U.S. is also a domineering partner of this nuclear state, but Pakistan, through its wheelings and dealings, finds itself in bed with everyone. Yeah. It's Pakistan's the Diddy of nation states. It's in bed with everyone.
I feel like Pakistan is the only nation in the entire world in the past like 10, 20 years that is like fucked with America in a very weird way, where they're just like, man, fuck you, bro. Like it's a mixture of incompetence plus like bitch assness plus like we don't give a fuck. It's so weird. It's so weird.
Like, no one knows how to deal with someone. You're like someone who's just like waiting to see what's the worst that can happen. It's like, oh no, we're fucked. Yeah, what's the worst that can happen now?
Pakistan's unpredictability is its greatest strength and greatest weakness at the same time. Yeah.
And I mean, I don't want to make it like sound more than what it is. It's not some kind of brilliant maneuvering. I mean, we can see it like.
No, Pakistan. The only way Pakistan just happens to fall into good and bad situations. Yeah. They don't plan nothing, bro. Yeah. They just happen. They find themselves in good or bad situations.
Yeah, it's failing upwards is definitely I think we should adopt that as the national sport.
Yeah,
because we already fucked up hockey and India, and I mean the India Pakistan match right now was the last time, and I say this every time. Last time I watch a cricket match.
I mean, I'll be very honest. Pakistan lucked out with its people's genetics, because like if they had morons as people, I mean, Pakistan would have failed as a state. They got lucky that they had smart people running the place, because as in like, who's the name of the nuclear physicist that came to Pakistan that started the entire program? He probably single-handedly is the only reason why Pakistan still is a nation state. I'll be very honest. He is single-handedly the reason why Pakistan is still a nation state.